Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Friday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Congratulations, everybody. You made it through another week. It is TGIF, baby. Getting ready for the weekend. Got college football. We got the NFL. But before all that, we got two more MLB games as we try to get the second round set. And to help me talk about it, of course, it's the one and only Scott Reichel. Scotty, how are you?
Doing pretty well. We already went through the NBA stuff. We got a couple of games here on Friday. There's Cubs and Marlins. I was kind of expecting this to be a game 3 going into yesterday. It turned out it's still game 2 because rain played a factor. And then you also have the Cardinals-Padres game, which is a game 3. So, yeah, pretty light on the baseball card in comparison to to a couple of days ago. But either or, looking forward to breaking down some baseball.
Excellent. Yeah, and I'm kind of working with one hand tied behind my back. I don't have access to my computer. Microsoft has decided to have problems today, and so anyway, I'm working on my wife's computer at my regular camera without my regular stats in front of me. So I apologize in advance to everybody, but we do have 2 baseball games today. Let's talk a little bit about the action yesterday, Scott. I had the Cardinals in a nice spot, and they just couldn't hold the lead.
What were they up 4 runs in the 6th?
Yeah, and the normally pretty stout Cardinals bullpen just absolutely shat the bed yesterday, and they couldn't get the third out. I think they hit. I think they scored 5 runs on homers with 2 outs.
Could have been. It felt like the same 3 people were up every inning.
Oh God! Oh, it's Tatis again. That's great news.
Tatis is up. Wasn't he just up like 3 minutes ago? Didn't he just homer like 3 minutes ago? Oh, he homered again. All right, cool. What about Machado? Oh, okay. Well, Will Myers. Oh, weren't you up last inning and the inning before that?
Yeah, pretty much. So the problem with the Padres today, Scott, we talked a little bit about it before the show. I don't know who they pitch. I mean, we do know who they're going to pitch. They're going to have to start.
Yesterday, we guessed both starters right for the White Sox-A's game.
Yeah.
Didn't really matter because Fiers only went about an inning and 2/3, and Dunn didn't go that long either. But
what a weird deal. The guy and the White Sox pitcher went like 2 outs.
Renteria had some issues yesterday.
Boy, he did. Yeah,
he did. It's tough when you bring in pitchers with the bases loaded and they throw 8 balls and 10 pitches. That's not really a good sign. They blew a lead there. To make matters worse, they blew it to Oakland, who was 0-9.
0-9 in winner-take-all games.
0-9, yeah. They lost 9 straight winner-take-all games. That ended, so good for them. The White Sox went up early. I thought to myself, that Robert ball probably hasn't landed yet, so I'm assuming that the White Sox are probably going to win the game. And then the shenanigans started. A good rally for Oakland, and now they face a division rival in Houston in the second round, which should be pretty fascinating. But other than that, though, the main takeaway I had in baseball yesterday, shout out to playoff Kershaw because he was ridiculous yesterday.
Yep. And, he was pretty well matched there by
I told you I thought Woodruff was a gamer, but unfortunately when your team strikes out 13 times and scores 0 runs against a pitcher who is known for being a playoff choker in his career, you're not really going to win that game too many times.
How long did Kershaw go? I didn't look at the box score in this one.
I know he went at least 7. He might have gone a little bit into the 8th, but I'm pretty sure he went at least 7. He was just shut down.
Yeah, he was. Good for him. He exercised some demons.
He went 8 innings. He actually completed the 8th.
Oh,
he went 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts.
That'll do, pig.
I don't know what more you can ask for an ace there. That's what he wanted. Now, of course, that was against Milwaukee, and we've roasted their offense all year long. So it's going to matter when they face an actual competent offense, but that's definitely a good sign moving forward.
Yep, very good. And so let's tee it up here, Scott. What's the first game is going to be the Cubs game?
Cubs game's at 2:00, and the Cardinals Padres game is going to be at 7, give or take.
Now this is your boy's 6th though, and
got an extra day to think about his last couple of terrible starts.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I recall right, he really struggled his last couple times. I mean, not really. So he gave like 3 and 4 runs his last couple times.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how much we should actually break down the game because we literally broke down this exact same game yesterday. So I don't know what more we can really add to the situation. I know that we are looking at the matchups and the total. The Cubs total is at roughly 7 or 6.5. So I'm assuming the wind has to be blowing in because it's at roughly 6.5. And the Cubs money lines are roughly -200. So that means you're picking up a decent amount of coin if you end up putting some money on the Marlins, roughly in the plus 185, something like that range. So you are getting a decent deal there. Team totals, I have to assume it's going to be,
Two and a half, 4.5.
Well, the totals are roughly 7 now, so I don't think it can be 3.5, 4.5. It's got to be
No, 2.5, 4.5.
I was going to say, I think it has to be around 2.5, 4.5. So
yes, that's exactly what it'll be.
I know yesterday we both liked Miami team total over because we thought that Darvish, who has not been as sharp in his last couple of starts, we thought this team total was a bit low. I'm still leaning that direction because I feel like we both want to take Sixto out of the equation. I don't think that much has changed. Maybe you might take a sprinkle. Maybe you thought about it or slept on it. But for me, I'm going to lean to Marlins team total over because even though Darvish is still very good, he has not been as sharp as he had been earlier in the year in his last couple of appearances, especially at Wrigley. And for that reason, I think the Marlins could potentially get to him. And even if any part of that Cubs bullpen comes in, you feel decent about your chances. So I'll go with the over 2.5 for the Marlins.
Except for Kimbrel, who's apparently righted the ship. I was reading an article on him the other day, and I guess they were patient with him. He was dreadful, and he's been very good since then. So, good time for him to find his stroke again, so to speak. You know where I'm going, Scott. I mean, I do like the Marlins team total over. Don't get me wrong, but we've ridden this Marlins team, and I have especially as far as an underdog goes all year long. They won the first game as a big underdog. I got to play them again, buddy.
I don't blame you. I said it was mostly going to be the Marlins or going to be the team total over because I don't know where the value is on the Cubs.
I'm probably going to play both of those, and hopefully one will pay for the other. If they lose 5-3 or something like that, I'll push it. But I'm going to take a swing in the Marlins, and I'm going to play the Marlins team total over as well.
Okay.
I think the over in this game overall probably isn't a bad play either.
It's a low total at 6. Of course, I have to assume the wind's blowing in at Wrigley, but at the end of the day, it's 6.5. I mean, that's just the next level low.
Yeah, it is. It's usually reserved for matchups that involve Kershaw or
DeGrom,
something like that.
Yeah, so. DeGrom, Scherzer, one of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah, I'm on the fish. I'm on the fish over, and I'm on the over altogether. What's your best play from this one? Team total over.
Yeah, it's because as much as I want to lean Marlins, Sixto has not been great lately, even though I do like him a lot as a pitcher. So for that reason, Darvish, even though he has been good, his last appearance in the playoffs, I believe it was Game 7 of the World Series, and we all know how that turned out. So he has had some issues in the playoffs. Might have been because of garbage cans or tipping pitches, but either or, his numbers in the playoffs have been So, why not? Give me 2.5.
All right, very good. All right, so let's talk about this other game here, the third game of the set, and what's the pitching matchup there? It's going to be
it's Flaherty versus Blank.
It almost has to be Richards.
I have to assume it's Richards. But I messaged you last night asking about it because I don't know who else they have besides Richards.
Yeah, I combed over their playoff roster as to who it could possibly be.
I don't have anybody.
No, they don't. I mean,
Lamet's gone. Clevenger's gone. I figured maybe they call up a youngster and pray that somebody can eat up some innings. They just don't have that. So I got to lean Richards.
When he was with KC, Matt Strom was a starter. But, he's been used exclusively out of the bullpen since he's been traded.
Yeah.
And he pitched last night. He pitched, basically everybody pitched last night for San Diego.
Yeah, Richards threw 3 pitches, so he did pitch, but he threw the least. So I got to assume he's going to get at least he's going to try to get through a decent amount of innings. For the sake of this, just for reference, the Cardinals are currently roughly, I think they're actually underdogs in this matchup. Very, very, they're like plus 103, which shocks me. They're plus 103. And the over-under is at 9 at minus 110, give or take minus 110 both sides. A little bit of juice potentially in some books to the over, but it's at 9, and the Padres are slight minus 113 favorites. I'm shocked San Diego's favorite. I know that San Diego is the home team, and I know that they have the better record or whatever. They didn't announce who's pitching. I don't know how you're supposed – they used everybody yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't think their bullpen was that good to begin with.
No, it started off dreadful, and it's been pretty middle of the road since then. It's certainly
But
nothing to.
I don't think the Cardinals bullpen's been much to write home about in the series either, but it's
Yeah,
better than
And Cardinals bullpen has been very good during the regular
yeah. It
season.
just hasn't been good in the series, but of course they have the better bullpen overall. I know Flaherty struggled lately, which is a concern. I wrote an article about this for winnersandwiners.com. My main play was the over. I think this is a good spot for the over. Flaherty's had question marks over his last couple of appearances. Padres remembered how to hit home runs. They score a lot of runs. There's just how they play the game. Very entertaining. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have scored at least 7 runs in each of the first 2 games of the series, so they've been hitting the ball well. Carlson, that youngster that they have batting cleanup, guy can play. Guy's really good. Goldschmidt has a homer in each of the first 2 games. Of course, he's Paul Goldschmidt. He was going to need to make a serious showing. Colton Wong homered yesterday. He looked pretty good. Mostly Carlson, though, because he provides a lot of protection for Goldschmidt. He's done really well, and I'm impressed by what I see from him. I think St. Louis might have found something in him. But you have Tatis had 2, Machado homered, Myers had 2, Padres can't pitch, Flaherty's had issues. I expect Richards to struggle. I don't think he's going to pitch well. I don't trust any pitchers on the team. Even Flaherty, who's been really good in his career, not been good this year. So you're giving me 9. I know it's Petco, but I don't know what happened. 2020 turned Petco into Yankee Stadium, and every game has like 12 runs now. So I'm going to lean to the over because I don't really trust any of the pitchers.
I think that's solid, and I'm going to also lean to San Diego in spite of the pitching difficulties they have. There's a reason they didn't want to start Flaherty in the first 2 games, and I think the Cardinals are probably more worried about him than they let on, and
I agree with that. But
I think the over is a solid play as well. But I think the Padres woke up yesterday. I think they're feeling it.
do you think their Baker Mayfield are feeling a bit dangerous today?
I think they're feeling a bit dangerous today. Yes. I like the Padres laying that short price.
If I'm looking at any props, sorry to interrupt, I'd probably look at the pitcher strikeouts under because I expect both pitchers to have the shortest leash possible. Now, I know that Richards potentially could have a long leash because they just require him to eat up at least 4 innings because they have no arms left. I don't see that. I know the Cardinals have gotten out to early leads in each of the first 2 games. I don't think Richards is a good option to have as a starting pitcher in a playoff game, especially a winner-go-home game. Is he fine? Yeah, he's fine in the regular season. In the playoffs, you know? Like he was supposed to be the number 5. He wasn't supposed to start.
Yeah, they'd rather be throwing Lamet or Clevenger out there, I guarantee you. But
so that's the point. I assume Richards will struggle. I think Flaherty's going to be I think he'll go 5 innings, 3-4 runs. I mean, he's got an ERA north of 9 on the road. Like he's really not been good this year.
No.
I still like Flaherty. I think that if he's going to prove that he's an ace, this is a spot for him to do so, of course, in a winner-go-home game. But at the end of the day, both bullpens have also sucked. So I'm looking at a bunch of pitchers who I can't trust, and both these teams have combined to score at least 11 runs in each of the first 2 games. You're giving me 9, and I don't like any of either starting pitcher. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the over and just say, give me chaos, and I'm happy with runners on base.
All right, fair enough. All right, buddy. Well, there's a look at the 2 games. And,
yep.
Should be a fun day of baseball, and we got a little college football tonight. We're going to talk about that when we're done, and we're not going to talk about tonight so much as our top 3 picks for the weekend.
We already know you're taking the Camels plus the points. You don't have to break it down. We already know. It's fine.
I think the Camels runs over. I stayed away from that game on every platform. I didn't do a play of the day.
That was a hell of a cover against Appalachian. I'll tell you that much. That was a hell of a cover. A 1-play, 85-yard touchdown with like 2 minutes to go to cover. That's how you dream it up right there.
How about them Camels?
Yeah.
All right, bud. So let's So just one more click. You got one more video coming after this. Everybody, stay tuned. And Scott and I will give our top 3 college plays. We've been pretty good the last couple of weeks, Scott. We've been you and I are still tied, but we'll talk about that. We have been profitable the last couple of weeks, so we'll see if we can keep that going. And if you're looking for any more information, deeper dives into these baseball games, make sure you check out winnersandwiners.com. We're doing deep dives into every game every single day. There is no site like it. Make sure you make it part of your handicapping regimen. And for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwiners.com, we appreciate you stopping by. watching the show. And we always appreciate comments. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do that. Make sure you click the bell and get notified each and every time we put a brand new video. Have a great day, everybody. Hope all of your tickets cash. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.